Welcome to Accounting High.
Check out the cash flow show. We discuss topics like getting paid on time, profitability, and managing your bottom line, payroll best practices, the best apps to use, and cash flow forecasting tools. So if you're a small business owner, your help's right around the corner. Fret not. Tune in as Scott and Nikole help you reach your goals on the cash flow show. The cash flow show. Listen and learn. We'll show you how to pay yourself on what your business earns. With Nikole and OKR.
Yo, what's up, Nikole?
Hey, good morning, Scotty. Welcome back from Mexico.
Welcome back, students. So we were going to do a turnaround series and start talking about cash flow issues, low on cash flow, but I looked back at the numbers and I saw our episode on too much cash did very well. A lot of people tuned into that one. So we're going to go back and revisit that a little bit and talk about things to do with your money, but we're going to talk about places to hold your money today. Nikole, what are we talking about on the cash flow show today?
Today, we're talking about neobanks. So if you are frustrated with your current brick and mortar bank because they have crappy technology and everything is hard, then this might be an episode you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I think everybody listening has dealt with traditional banks that we know and trust, banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, Truist. All of these banks we've all dealt with. We probably all have accounts there. These neobanks have just kind of sprouted up as this fintech bubble started, maybe around, the 2012 era and beyond. We started to see what people call neobanks. Can you describe to our listeners or define what a neobank is for anybody that hasn't heard of them?
Yeah, so these neobanks, they're not legal banks themselves, but what they do is they work with a chartered bank. And so they are the 100% online platform that basically sits on top of the actual chartered bank. And what that does is creates less friction as a user. So you can open up a bank account in minutes by just going online and opening an account. You can open multiple accounts. There's virtual cards. There's low cost. You can do free ACH and wires. Some of them have bill pay features. They make it easy to add your accountant, which we love as accountants because that's oftentimes a roadblock for us is getting access to our clients' bank accounts. And then there's enriched data feeds. So on our end, we like good feeds into the accounting software so that we can update our clients' financials in real time. And so there's just a lot of benefits to some of these neobanks.
Unlike traditional banks, there's no physical branches. So that allows them to offer, they don't have the cost and the upkeep of all that physical branches and people overhead. So they're able to offer better rates and higher interest rates or other features or other useful things for you as a business owner. So that's what a neobank is. They are, again, 100% online. They're sort of like, they're just a financial technology company that's laid on top of there.
On the West Coast here, we had a bank called First Republic Bank. And that's where I banked. That's where a lot of our clients banked. And what I loved about First Republic is they had great technology and they had really high white glove service. And then with the downfall of Silicon Valley Bank, it created this ripple effect and everybody started pulling their money out of First Republic Bank, even though it was an amazing bank. And then they've been acquired by Chase. And so when that happened, when they switched over from First Republic to Chase, it was like end of May, they did the transition and a bunch of business owners didn't have access to their bank accounts anymore. They just disappeared. They were no longer on the FRB platform and they didn't transfer over to the Chase platform like all the personal accounts did. And then we have Mike, since we were with First Republic, my partner, he was trying to open a business account at Chase and he goes to the office or the branch, right? The physical branch. And he's like, I want to open a business account. And they're like, oh, the person who does that isn't here right now. So you have to come back. And so he's had all sorts, he's been trying to open this business account for like 2 months and can't get the account open. So that's one of the benefits of these online banks is you can go on and open an account within a few minutes and not have to deal with all of that.
You don't have to go anywhere. It's all online. It's pretty frictionless to open up an account. So it's very easy to spin up a new account. I don't think we are here recommending that you open up your first business bank account with a neobank. But if you have an existing business and you have an existing business bank account, maybe explore a neobank for some of these other cool features and the reasons that we use it. As accountants, we love it, like you said, because it makes for better, easier data, cleaner data within the general ledger. But also, there's other cool things about some of these banks that we'll go over today that might be a reason to move some of your extra cash or some of your money into these banks.
Yeah. So I actually use Relay Bank, which is one of these, and Relay has done a really good job of getting involved with the accounting community and marketing.
Yeah, they do really good job marketing to accountants.
Yeah. And we know Yusuf, the founder, personally. So I think anytime you're moving money to some of these neobanks, there's risk. And we can get into that in a minute. But one thing I do like is personally knowing the founder of Relay and some of the decisions that I've seen him make that instill trust in this bank. But so I recommend using a neobank in conjunction with a physical bank or one of these more legacy banks, right? And the reason is there's a few different reasons, but most of these neobanks do not have lending options. So you want to create a relationship with a bank early on, right? So then when you do need to get a loan, you can ask them for one and you've already created that relationship.
That was for our turnaround series for the people that don't have cash. If you need a loan, probably don't go to a neobank.
Right. And so what I usually do, I use the neobank, I use Relay for money movement. So I've got my physical bank, my real bank, or I don't call it real bank, but the one there's a brick and mortar, right? So that's currently with Chase because it was recently acquired by FRB. But anyway, all of my deposits from customers go there and my payroll comes out of there and my credit card payments come out of there. So the majority of my money's there. And then I move in small amounts to pay bills out of Relay. And then also, so Relay has a really cool little bill pay module where if you enter a bill in QuickBooks Online or Xero, it'll pull that bill into Relay. And then you can set up an approval workflow and you can actually pay the bill out of Relay either by ACH, wire, or they'll mail a check for you. So for our clients that don't need like a robust bill pay solution like Bill.com, we will have them use Relay instead for that purpose. And then the other way I use it too is Relay has virtual and physical credit cards. So my team's 100% remote. So what I do is I just give them all virtual cards so I can add them as a user inside of Relay. And so if they want to go get their virtual card, which is just a number, your credit card number. And then, for example, we're going to a conference in August and I said, go use your cards, go pay for your travel. And I can set limits and controls around spending as well.
Yeah, you don't have to run reimbursements and it's super convenient. It's just the click of a few buttons. You can spin up their accounts, you can spin up their cards, and they can immediately start using it. You get alerts if they hit their spending limit, so you can update it and adjust it. Very powerful tools that are all built in just in the admin level for your account.
Yeah. And the other way, some people like to use it for Profit First. They have a partnership with Profit First. You know how I feel about Profit First, but if you're a micro business and you like to use that cash budgeting system, that's a good solution for you. And then the other thing that we'll sometimes use it for, so if we are trying to categorize expenses by, let's say, it's challenging for us on the accounting side to categorize something as a cost of goods sold versus an overhead cost, what we can do is say, hey, only pay overhead expenses out of this account and only pay your direct costs out of this account. And then from an accounting perspective, it makes it easier to know what the expense was. And I think that
they can build the habit to do that.
And I think because we'll have clients do that with credit cards sometimes too. But the other thing is, for a while, Relay did not have credit cards, which means you couldn't get points. So that was always a sticking point with our clients who, they wouldn't use the debit card feature because they couldn't get points. But I think Relay did just come out with credit cards now with rewards.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of these other banks do too. So some of the other ones beyond Relay that you may have heard of is Brex. They do fairly a good amount of marketing toward business owners as well. There's also, and Brex focuses mainly on startups, small businesses. They have corporate cards and other expense management as well. Chime is another one. They're simple. They have low fees. You've probably heard of that. They have a good savings account function. There's Novo Bank. Have you heard of Novo?
I have heard of Novo. I don't have any clients currently using it.
Okay. Yeah, they have no fees. They have pretty good integrations too, is what I've seen. North One is another one. And another one that we've just recently were exposed to is Mercury Bank for startups, tech companies. All of these banks, again, super easy to use, slick interfaces, very easy to spin up accounts. Great to use on the side. I don't know if we're recommending these to use fully and 100% as your bank, though, because there are risks involved with using some neobanks.
Yeah, so a lot of these banks are FDIC insured, just like a regular bank, because they have a chartered bank basically doing everything on the back end. So you can get that $250,000 FDIC insured. And some of them actually even go up to I think Relay goes up to maybe 2 million now. So there's this thing that banks can do where they move money around to partner banks. But the thing is with these neobanks, the FDIC insured part, they've come out and said that they will not insure the actual reconciliation. What you see right on your screen on the online bank, there's some sort of reconciliation there that has to be done, some ledger that's kept on the back end. And I don't know the details, I'm not an expert in this, but apparently there was an issue that came up. If you look up something that happened with Synapse, they were the connector. They used to be the connector between Evolve Bank and Trust and Mercury, but then Mercury and Evolve ended up just cutting out the middleman.
Relay.
And Relay
Mercury as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Relay used to be an Evolve Bank and Trust, and then they moved to Thread Bank, which again I think that was a really good decision on their founders' part, that they saw that there were reconciliations issues they didn't trust with Evolve Bank and Trust, and then moved to Thread Bank. So what happened with Synapse is they were the basically the reconciliation tool, I believe, between some of these neobanks.
About 10 of these neobanks.
And somehow money got lost. It's missing. So what we're saying here is there is risk with these neobanks while they provide frictionless type of service and it makes your life easier. Just make sure you do your due diligence, and I wouldn't put all of your money into the account.
Yeah. Well, it's also subject to potential hacking too. I think regular banks are subject to that too, but I think more so with these that are just a layer on top of the bank. I think we've seen that in recent news too, that some of them have been hacked.
Yes. So Evolve Bank and Trust, which again, Relay used to be on, but moved away from, and I believe Mercury has some of their accounts on it. I'm not sure about the other ones. I'm mostly familiar with Mercury and Relay, but some of the user data was hacked. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are things to consider. Again, do your research, do your due diligence, because they do all say FDIC. But Ashley Madison said your data was safe, and we all know how that went too, right? They could say anything on their website, but it's only time will tell with some of these. And I think everything is susceptible to being hacked. So you have to, know that up front too. There are risks with, just the instability of some of these things and the FDIC and how they come in and state certain things and then it changes. So I don't know. They also, again, the fact that there is no in-person, that means you're not going to find as many ATMs possibly or ways to pull out cash in some of these banks. If you do need the services that a bank has, and you need cash, probably don't want to hold too much of your money in these neobanks. Right.
I think some of them do now. I know Relay now has the ability to do physical checks. I saw a notification, and I do believe that they have partner banks where you can take cash out using a Relay card.
Yeah, they're good. They're good banks to explore and use. Any other tips or things about neobanks?
Yeah, I think again, I personally recommend and trust Relay from my experience with them. And I know Mercury is really popular with the tech startup world. And we have a colleague who's recently gone over there to help build out the accountant channel. like I said, I don't think you need to be scared of using them. I still think that they're a good option, but there's a lot of people out there that want them to fail. So there's a lot of scrutiny being put on them right now, but I do think that they are going to end up being like the future of banking if everyone can just get on the same page.
Who wants them to fail?
Oh, all of the old school physical banks, of course.
Just like the record companies wanted streaming to fail.
Yeah.
Look where streaming went. Streaming didn't go anywhere. These neobanks probably aren't going anywhere either. So do your research, do your due diligence, have a backup banking solution, obviously, as we suggested already. This way, any issues arise, you still have the backup, which is known and trusted. Look at the fine print just to avoid any surprises.
Yeah, and then I would ask them how they do it beyond the FDIC insurance, how they do their reconciliation, basically. Alrighty, cool.
Happy
banking.
Well, happy banking. Yeah, and don't go blame us if you lose all your money. Peace out.
Take a little
Students,
risk in
class.
a while.
Yeah, I know. This is just for your extra cash. All right, homies.
All
Peace
right.
out.
See you next time. Bye.
Yeah. So you're drowning in cash flow issues. You run a business, but feel like it's running you. Customers won't pay, but you got bills due. It appears you won't have enough for payroll coming up soon. It seems like you're running nowhere fast. You work hard, but never able to withdraw cash from the business. You get more customers, hire more employees, but still take home hardly anything. You feel like you're on a hamster wheel, frustrated cause the battle's always uphill. Even though you got a bookkeeper on your team, they send you reports, but you don't really know what they mean. Your CPA doesn't understand a thing about your business, at least that's how it seems. But if you want to get above water and grow, check out the Cash Flow Show. This is the Cash Flow Show, where we help the small business gain momentum and become profitable. This is the Cash Flow Show. Listen and learn. We'll show you how to pay yourself on what your business earns. Cash Flow Show. Discuss topics like getting paid on time, profitability, and managing your bottom line, payroll best practices, the best apps to use, and cash flow forecasting tools. So if you're a small business owner, your help's right around the corner. Fret not. Tune in as Scott and Nikole help you reach your goals on the Cash Flow Show. The Cash Flow Show, where we help the small business gain momentum and become profitable. This is the Cash Flow Show. Listen and learn. We'll show you how to pay yourself on what your business earns. Cash Flow Show. Our advice will take you far. Cash Flow Show. Tune in with Nikole and OKR.